And I thank you, thank you very much, Madam Chair. Thank you as well for giving us the opportunity to debate this. These issues, transparency and peacekeepers, UNRWA, the Human Rights Council, Durban, this anti-Israel, pervasive anti-Israel bias need to be addressed. And I thank the ranking member for his amendment, which addresses them, and I'll support that amendment. But I cannot support this legislation, and I wanted to focus, as some others have, on the specific issue that I spend so much time dealing with, which is this obsession that so many member states have with attempts to delegitimize the free and democratic state of Israel. There's no arguing that for years Israel has been subject to extreme bias by members of the United Nations. Durban, Goldstone, Israel as a permanent agenda item at the Human Rights Council, these must be condemned, and I join every member of this committee in doing so. But even after all of these events, Israel's not walked away from the UN, and neither should we, neither should the United States. It is because of U.S. engagement that we are able to make advances. It's since the administration decided to fully re-engage with the UN, we've created a long-term strategy to help normalize Israel's status in and across the UN and a broader multilateral system. And our engagement serves not only as a benefit to advancing Israel as a legitimate member of the international community, it serves our interests, more importantly. We've worked to ensure that Israel has the opportunity to contribute fully to all UN institutions, even as it continues to be singled out by some member states. We garnered enough support to defeat a resolution at the IAEA singling out Israel's nuclear program for rebuke. We worked with our ally Israel to support the appointment of Israelis to UN positions. Francis Radeh, who was recently chosen as an expert member of the Human Rights Council's Special Working Group to eliminate discrimination against women. We helped secure the passage of 3 Israel-sponsored resolutions on agricultural technology in the General Assembly. We've worked to improve Israel's status in multilateral bodies, including joining the OECD last year, a collection of the world's 30 top economies. Israel's chosen to play an active role in peacekeeping and humanitarian missions. Israel is engaged at the UN. We should be as well. Thanks in part to U.S. efforts on its behalf, Israel will join the board of the UN Children's Fund and chair an Economic and Social Council of that body in the coming months. These are the sorts of important steps we've taken. At the Human Rights Council, it's true there are serious flaws. Efforts to delegitimize Israel are pervasive and anti-Israel resolutions are disproportionate. The Human Rights Council is the best evidence of that, and we have to be critical and we have to argue against it and be passionate in our opposition. But had we not scaled back our engagement at the UN during the last administration, the U.S. would have been at the table from the beginning, at the start of the Human Rights Council, where we could have had a say in creating legitimate membership interests, standards that would have prevented some of the world's worst human rights abusers like Cuba and Libya from membership. Both the Chairman's bill and the Ranking Member substitute contain standards for Human Rights Council membership, but only the Ranking Member's amendment ensures that we're an active participant in bringing about reforms. Bottom line is, since U.S. involvement in the Human Rights Council, the U.S. has had a significant impact since we rejoined. Our leadership led to the authorization of international mandates to closely monitor and address human rights situations in Iran, Libya, Syria, the Ivory Coast, Burma, North Korea, Cambodia, and Sudan. Perhaps most importantly, it was U.S. leadership that kept Iran and Syria from gaining seats on the Council. We helped establish a special rapporteur on human rights in Iran. We were there to speak out vehemently against the Goldstone report. We were there. We were showing leadership. That's what the United States always does. The United States doesn't turn and walk away from a battle. We have to stand up for what we believe in, and we have to do it in a forum where the entire world hears what we say. Nothing would hurt Israel more, by the way, or hurt our interest or any of our allies' interest, if another country decided, because we stopped making payments to the United Nations, if someone decided to challenge our position on the Security Council. They could say that the U.S. doesn't take its responsibility to the international community seriously. Why should it continue to have a permanent seat on the Security Council? Imagine if we didn't have a veto. Imagine what we would not have been able to do on behalf of our interests and our allies' interests. We have to stand up for what we believe in as a nation, and we need to do it in the venue that gives us the loudest and strongest voice. I thank you.
I thank the gentleman. Mr. Carnahan, that was a bloodless